Alright, here, let's call this. I'd like to call the City of Roslyn City Council meeting to order January 14th, 2020. It is 6:01 p.m. Let's all stand for the flag salute, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do roll call?
Councilmember Gruber?
Present.
Councilmember Weiss?
Here.
Councilmember Scheer?
Here.
Councilmember Cook? Here. Councilmember Hatfield? Here. Councilmember Missile?
Here.
Councilmember Adams?
Present.
Mayor House?
Here. I don't have any agenda updates unless anybody else does. So our consent agenda for this evening is two of them. It's checks number 16495 to 16509 and EFTs as follows. Accounts payable in the amount of $62,783.62. ACH accounts payable in the amount of $14,516.39. And payroll as of December 20th, 2019 in the amount of $23,286.50. The second one is check number 16513 to 16539 and EFT fund transfers as follows. Accounts payable in the amount of $74,601.43. ACH accounts payable in a zero amount, it looks like. And payroll as of January 5th, 2020 in the amount of $22,539.24. And then we have the minutes from the regular city council meeting 6/10/2019.
I'll make a motion to move the consent agenda.
I will second the motion to accept the consent agenda.
Any discussion, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed say nay, please. Okay, consent agenda passes. So next will be the administrative reports. So we'll start with the police officer.
Mayor, council, thank you for having me. Some of you don't know me. I've actually been around for a while. I worked a lot of night shifts. My name's Rich Albo. I just became promoted to sergeant in November 1st. We have the testing process. Hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more of me, and as I'm about to explain, hopefully you'll be seeing more of our other officers. So what the police are doing, we're going to start a program called Adopt a City. And some of these things out, it's where our officers are going to, they'll be assigned to a city for a period of 2 years, and they'll be acting as basically liaisons, kind of a community building program. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. We're excited about it. And so for those of you who don't have a handout, would you like one?
I can make photocopies if you need.
Okay, sure. For those of you who don't have it, I'll just read it pretty quick here. Our mission statement for the program is, the mission of the Adopt a City program is to enhance communication between the respective cities and their assigned officers to address current needs and expectations. The vision statement, our vision for the Adopt a City program is to have a direct communication channel between officers and citizens to work together to develop solutions for current problems and issues. This outreach program will serve as a tool to better understand what our community's needs are and for a better quality of life and safety. Each community will be assigned 2 officers from CEPD. These officers will be responsible for going out into their assigned community to learn how the CEPD can assist in solving whatever problem is identified. They will also assist in the community in supporting any type of community event that they are interested in hosting by providing input on event safety, traffic, and noise-related issues caused by the event. Officers, while on duty during the time of their respective city's council meeting, will attend the meeting to receive input from the council and their citizens. Attendance at the council meetings will depend on active calls to service, which will remain priority for on-duty officers. For example, if something happens, I'm working, so I've got to run. So thank you for having me first. Officers will be assigned to a specific city for a period of 2 years. It is the intent of the police department to develop strong public relations between all our officers and cities. Therefore, officers will rotate amongst the city every 2 years in order for our officers to have relationships with each of the cities. Officers will report to the chief of police on goals set for each respective city and the plan that has been developed to reach these goals. Now some points that I wanted to make. this isn't a dispatching system, right? A lot of people will think, well, call my officer. Well, I'm not assigned to any city, I'm the sergeant, I'm helping oversee the whole program. So don't look for Brad, don't just look for Brad, talk to any of our officers. That officer will come back and report to the Roslyn officer, again, the liaison kind of a thing, and reach out. If there's a crime in progress, please call 911 or talk to the person, hey, this is happening. But if it's one of these issues that I've spoken about, use social media, which I didn't bring up. We're also going to be on social media. We cannot do that until we get software for public disclosure. That is in the process. So until that happens, we absolutely cannot be on social media for obvious reasons. But that's coming, and it's coming soon. And again, through that social media, that is not the dispatch where people, I promise you I will see people getting on there telling us things are happening, please go to 911. Yeah, I think I hit all my points. The last thing is this is meant to be positive, especially the social media aspect of it. It's a way for the community and the police to reach out to each other, really. So we hope that everyone kind of takes it for its intended purposes, and we can get to know each other a lot better, a lot on a personal level. I know Roslyn is that way. I love walking. I walk every weekend that I'm on at night. I walk around, talk to people. It's a lot of good input, so hopefully this kind of enhances that. And that's all I have for you guys today.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
One quick question.
Yes.
When will you assign the officers, and when will we know who they are?
Probably when the social media comes out again. I don't want to give you a deadline on when that is, because, but as soon as that happens, everyone will know. And again, those officers will be able to be here and speak with you, so you'll just see them as well as just knowing their names. So.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you.
And I'm going to run out of here soon, just so you know. So I don't mean to be rude.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
it's all right. Scott, you're good then.
Oh, that's a report.
Okay. Fine.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. Councilmen and women, public, I'm Jeannie Rodin with the Roslyn City Historic Preservation, 301 North B Street. I have a statement I'd just like to make as the beginning of the year statement. And I have a copy of Brandy. I have some other copies I can pass out, but not enough for everybody, so I'll just read first. As someone who has worked with Roslyn's planning and historic preservation efforts for the past 11 years, I look forward to 2020 as a year when the Roslyn City Council and the Roslyn Planning and Historic Preservation Commission can work closely together to preserve the precious resource we call home. As we strive to protect both the historic integrity and the economic vitality of our town, we have much to reflect on and to be proud of. In 2020, the Washington Trust for Historic Properties put Roslyn on the most endangered properties list. Well, this seems to be a disappointing award. It helps us keep in mind how fragile our architectural history is. In 2012, Mike Woodwell, then a member of the Historic Commission, led a major effort to produce the City of Roslyn standards and guidelines for preservation, rehabilitation, restoration, and reconstruction of historic properties. Design guidelines which, as the state said, are, quote, meticulous in detail and sensitive in reflecting the architecture and character of the historic mining community. Although it took nearly 4 years to produce, it remains the preeminent set of guidelines for architectural design. The Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation honored Dick Watts with a 2014 Outstanding Achievement Award in Historic Preservation in the category of Cemetery Commission. Sorry. And the Cemetery Commission continues to do outstanding preservation work for a very unique place. Between 2007 and the present, the City of Roslyn has received 11 grants from the Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation to record the provenance of structures in town, excuse me, and to create an accurate historical record of the occupants and families reflecting the cemetery. One of the goals and policies of Roslyn's 2019 comprehensive plan is, quote, to maintain and update the city's designation as a National Historic District. This requires that new development and redevelopment activities are consistent with the historic character and historic development patterns of the community. The Roslyn Planning and Historical Preservation Commission will strive, along with the council's support, to meet this goal. Once the final evaluation of the city's south addition is complete, and when directed by City Council, we can move forward with updating Roslyn's designation as a National Historic District. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Library?
Just came to see the vote and report back.
Any other administrative groups that wanted to speak? Okay, well, then we'll move on to fun stuff. We got the oath of office for Councilmember Scheer, Councilmember Cook, and Councilmember Gruber. I believe that you have the sheet, you can just read off all three of you at the same time. Brandy wants to
Yeah,
start.
there's a cheat sheet in front of you, raise your right hand and go for it.
1, 2, 3.
I,
I, James Shear, do
Gruber,
affirm
do affirm
that I am a citizen of the
citizens of the United States of America and the state of Washington, that I am legally qualified to assume the position of
Number
1,
2,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state of Washington, and I will faithfully, diligently, and impartially perform the duties of this office, as such duties are prescribed by law, to the best of my judgment, skill, and ability.
Congratulations. Everything was unofficial up to then.
didn't count.
Okay, now, council needs to nominate and elect a mayor pro tem.
I would like to nominate Councilmember Jeff Adams for the position of Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll second.
Any other nominations? All in favor of Jeff Adams, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Jeff Adams is Mayor Pro Tem. Congratulations. I get the whole lot. You ready? Okay, and then some official stuff. I am reappointing Captain Johnson to the Planning and Historic Commission, and I am reappointing everybody. I'm reappointing Dick Watts, Jared Porter, Jim Ash, Sky Oshada, Tony Craven, and Braven Benzak to the Cemetery Commission. And we're going to change the time on that, I guess, since we're on a record too. Assuming they're all good at that, to 5
We're gonna ask for
p.m.
5 o'clock.
And that's on a Thursday. Was it the third
Thursday.
Thursday?
Changing the meeting times?
Yeah.
We're going to ask him if
We're
it's
gonna-
possible.
There's a couple of people that have jobs that it's difficult to do the 10 a.m.
Gotcha.
Then really the only thing we've got on the item tonight is unfinished business, is the City Hall Commerce Grant. We finally got it all through. We got the insurance figured out with Commerce and our insurance company. We've got the document ready to sign. It's ready to go. All we need is council to adopt this.
I'll make a motion to approve the City Hall Library Building Commerce Grant.
I'd like to second that motion. The group move on.
Any discussion here, folks?
I had a question, well, actually, I didn't check it all out. This, the certification on intent to follow the leadership and engineering, what do they call it? Hold on, let me just read it so I know.
What page are you at?
It's the very last attachment, C, certification of intent to enter the leadership in energy and environmental design certification process.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if that's on anyone's radar in terms of what that means for the project.
I was gonna get clarification on that in the morning from Sarah and Department of Commerce.
Yeah, I believe we use part of the process of abatement of like lead paints and all that as we did with the old structure and the old building as part of that process. But maybe sure we're following all those guidelines that are required.
It's a pretty robust
It is.
certification.
Yep.
So I guess I'm just sort of flagging that as like,
Yep, I think we should
make
send
sure
it.
that
Send that.
everyone that we are working with on this knows that
Yeah,
that's.
most of the contractors out to bid this will have to have that certification anyways.
Oh, okay.
We did in general several years ago as contractors, just used our business because everybody was certified
Yeah,
in it.
it's not
Lead
as
abatement,
new
so-
anymore, so
No.
it's probably a lot more.
But let's send that to Margaret, please.
That was something that kind of
Yeah, thank you.
popped out to me. And I guess the insurance issue was resolved.
Clear up.
They created a rider that was satisfactory to the insurance company and commerce.
Okay.
So what changed on that?
I didn't read the rider yet.
Okay.
As long as the insurance company was happy,
Yeah.
I assume.
Whatever
Yeah,
the
I
list
read the
was.
risk. I mean, we're paying for everything and then asking for reimbursement.
Right,
So
you
I
have to get
never understood what
reimbursed.
the risk was in the first place.
Yeah, yep.
They could just not pay us.
It's lawyer stuff.
And
Who was concerned about the rest? Was it
Commerce.
Commerce? No, it's 'cause
They
people-
wanted us to put the entire
people
state of
backed out and
Washington.
they've taken the money and then
Yeah.
sold the building
Right.
in the past. People have done that and that's not approved.
That's not.
Oh, it's not the grant, I know that, okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Well, the library's not for sale.
Mayor,
Think about this.
can you would you clarify for everybody that we have to, we will be using the grants one after another, we can't?
Yeah, that, yes, both, so the second grant will happen after the completion of this grant,
They won't allow us
which
to use
is
them both at the
the
same time.
archaeologic grant, which will do the siting and
Right.
the final
Did we,
drywall things.
and when do we go out for bid for this, that project?
After the architect.
We will have a meeting, I'll probably have another meeting next week with the architect and probably Lynn and
In March.
yeah, and then, when I talked to him the other day, we have a letter already ready to send to him now that we've approved this. We'll mail it off first thing in the morning to him. It gives him direction of what we need to do with the two grants in consecutive grants and projects, so how it gets worked out. He said that he's probably 4 to 6 weeks, 5 weeks, somewhere in there, of being ready for the job to be bid out after they have to go back a little bit of paperwork, and get this, because we're gonna separate the two grants, so there's a little bit of trickiness of making the project layout. But they've been discussing it since we've sort of put a hold on that for the past 6 weeks, so, I talked to him just before Christmas, and he thought they had a really good handle on how they're gonna handle the situation, and felt comfortable with the team they had, and how they're gonna move forward, so, we give them the okay tomorrow, and, we'll let them go full speed ahead and get the rest of it dialed in, so we can get a bid package.
Do we hope
Probably about
that,
6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks is probably realistic.
so with getting the new architecture plans, are we looking at a new bill from that? And will that be
There
covered?
will be
So
some
it's-
cost, and
it's-
it's been budgeted for.
Oh,
It's not gonna be as great as, they originally, sort of the fear factor of where we are, because we were about 90-some% complete
yeah,
when we got the hold. They went back, looked, and they really, there's always a panic when you spent that much time. As of that 2 weeks ago, his exact words were, once everything sort of settled down, they really looked at it as a team together. They realized that a lot of their work can still be salvaged. It's just gonna be sort of mismatched and paging. They're not gonna redo the whole book that will go out for bidding. They'll be able to line items some things out of it, shortcut a few things. It will be a minimal cost, probably, of a few $1,000s at most, is what it sounded like. I mean, where the first fear was about $10,000.
yeah.
But it's gonna be a lot less than what they anticipated for the little bit of extra going back, but nothing like we originally anticipated.
Right, and the treasurer was. the
Which is all good news.
So-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To hear that is good news.
Yeah, and so they really feel they've salvaged a lot of it just by their conversation of how they're gonna move forward, so.
Cool.
We got one or two more questions. So attachment A, scope of work, was that list provided by us, I'm assuming? I just wanna make sure that we're
Us and
including
the architect, yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
Sarah,
you. And
Sarah
the-
and Mark have met together several times, and myself, and then finally have put them together, but they've decided how the scopes of work move forward, what will be covered under what grant.
Right.
There's some leniency in both grants that sort of overlap, so what doesn't happen in the first grant, we know that the second grant will finish up. We'll be able, we're trying to cover those items so we
Right.
don't get caught.
I guess I just wanted to make sure that
Nope.
we're.
That came from us.
Yeah, I assumed it did. And then it says this project is currently underway and is expected to be complete by August 2022.
Yes.
I think it's a continuous project as we look at this building, not a stop project. I think
So
it's
for
all-
this grant, right? Because then the next grant,
Well,
I
the
mean-
building project is already on the way.
Yes.
This is just the next phase.
right,
And we have to.
and we
will
think
be
this phase will
completed
be
by
done in 2
27.
years.
Well, no, this phase should be done in less than 2 years.
Completed,
The
I
next
think the
phase, or the last,
So the
should also, will be completed by 20.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Got it,
So the end of this next one
yeah,
needs to be done by that date.
yeah.
yeah.
So do we still, is this still like this grant will get us the library upstairs and good to go, or we have to do both grants to get that goal?
No, we think we can achieve that, and we have just a bathroom space, but so we have some other, that the other grant will have to cover on the exterior of the building. The one corner of this section never got replaced, the siding, which, once that's complete, that's the last section from the outside corner to the first corner where the new addition started, the last remodel we did. That was the one wall that was left out. We had no money for that at the end when we had a change order for it. It was about $46,000 to do it. We didn't have funding at that time. So that'll be incorporated. So this way, that whole front half of the building on all sides will be complete. From this corner here around has not been done, and if that funding will cover taking this siding off and making the rest of the building structural and the integrity all done, then we'll envelope the whole building and finish it that way. But that eliminate the staircase. We've eliminated the staircase. I think we know we have to sheetrock here, but we've talked about how far we can go with downstairs construction. The gymnasium at this point is a little bit in flux, and that's something we've discussed, that we may have to reapproach that after these ones are complete, which we'll look for another way of sourcing that.
We'll get that.
But we know with the money we have, it's still not enough to complete the entire project. With this, on average, I'm going to say, market one rate was saying that construction costs are going up nearly 5% a month. This is the biggest construction boom we've ever had in the state. Pricing's off the charts, materials off the charts. Everything is expensive right now. Labor's at the highest peak. It's not going to cover what we need to cover to finish the entire project, and so we'll be shortcutting to figure out how we get there. And that's nothing we can do with the funding we have.
And so when does the library have to move then?
Well, once we get the bid and we find that contractor, we'll know by that time. And we'll have plenty of time from when they say, they'll be a few months out. And what we'll want to do is just make sure we capture that first grant funding by that certain date, so we've captured that grant expense, so it's started. And we did that in the past grants when I volunteered with Jeff, when Jeff was the mayor. We hurried up and we purchased what we need to keep the grants in flux. And we'll do the same to get this one started so we don't lose that date.
Probably summer.
Yeah, I actually think it'll be sometime in summer. It'll really depend on it's gonna be tough. We're gonna go all over looking for a contractor. And we really want to get two bids. We can't go about and have the same type of contractor that did that part of the addition. That was more of it'd be like a big house addition. We need a real contractor, a different type of contractor for this. That we feel he was way over time. He did a good job, did a great job. But we didn't make our time frame that we wanted to, and cost him money. But we're not going to be able to do that with this type of grant. We need to really have a contractor that's on it. And I think that office staff will probably say the same thing as how we felt that grant. It went well, it's just not the time frame we could do it in.
Yeah, that's right, because moving
We
everybody
need
out.
something that has that has the crew that can probably show up. And we can do it in a timely fashion. So we'll exercise the best we can to find a good contractor.
Any other comments, concerns? Okay. All in favor of the City Hall Library Building Commerce Grant, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, say nay. The Commerce Grant is accepted by the council. Thank you.
Thank you, friends.
Yeah, thank you, friends.
Yeah,
Somebody text Lynn.
Yeah, I better.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any citizen comments on non-agenda items this evening?
I have a quick one. This is actually just an invitation. Our town community, of which I serve on the board for, has an annual meeting in February, and we do that along with the chocolate celebration. So I'd like to invite anybody in the community who wants to come to our house, actually on February 8th at 4:30 for a potluck and chocolate celebration. We have a small competition. We do a joiner judge, and the community who are attending vote for the best chocolate creation there. And this will be out on Facebook. We're putting posters around, but I just want to take this opportunity to say, if you like chocolate, even if you don't like chocolate, but if you like chocolate, there are many choices. So February 8th, then just wait to hear more details. This is our house, though. You can park at the church across the street. It's very handy to live across the street from the church. So just wanted to let you know about it ahead of time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Any other citizen comments? Okay, then to wind it up, we got council concerns. Anybody want to talk about anything?
I have one thing I'd like to talk about.
Thank you.
Historically, we've had citizens' comments on non-agenda items as one of the first or second
items on the agenda, and that allowed people to come in and tell us what they were thinking, and then not necessarily stay for the whole entire meeting. Citizens' comments got moved all the way to the bottom here, and I think what that does is, I think that it has a chilling effect on, you know, encouraging people to come in and tell us what they're thinking, and I would advocate for moving that back up to the top.
Would you think, under the administrative,
Where was it
reports?
before?
Well, we didn't have them.
That was recommendation of the city attorney to move it to the end.
Oh.
Yeah, and it does help with
Okay.
latecomers, because we did move from 7 to 6. It did, and I remember that.
There's a few
Conversation.
times people would come in,
Yeah.
and we don't necessarily have that all the time.
Because they would come in and they'd be like, oh, I missed my spot.
Yeah.
And is that the reason that the city attorney?
Mainly, it's because we were missing it and they'd, you know, at the end of the
Then we
meeting.
would do another one.
Your point's well taken though, I understand what you're saying, yeah, that's
Totally agree
true.
with it.
And also, people
Right.
were missing and then were upset by that, so.
Yeah,
This way you have the entire meeting to show up, so I don't know.
And you have the
That is
whole
true.
entire meeting to sit and listen to what we're talking about, which I
Yeah.
really encourage people to do.
right, but that's sort of like enforced, you know.
Yeah, we should be here for a
Yeah,
while,
which is.
especially if we go, you know, long, which we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've saved some time. I mean, part of the idea was moving up to 6 was to save a little bit of staff time because we found, you know, we were tight on budget, and so that was what we were sort of experimenting, I think, last year when that
That was the only reason we did
was budget to 6. But I think it's worked out well. I mean, I think, I haven't heard a lot of complaints. I mean, I think it works out better where everybody's more engaged rather than going home and I thought people were less engaged from 7 to 8 than they were from 6 to 7.
Mhm.
Just sort of
Oh,
my-
moving, yeah,
visually.
moving,
it. We moved the meeting.
yeah, right, I get that. I mean,
I don't know, we see complaints about it, I would feel free to move it up, but at this time,
Yep.
I see the reasoning for it to be at the end of the meeting.
okay, so maybe the thing to do would be wait and see if people would complain. and-
Yeah, we haven't,
Yeah,
yeah.
right,
I think, wouldn't even need to come in, if people wanted to just contact staff.
yeah,
and
You
say,
can make
"We
a
liked
public
it better."
comment,
yeah.
you know, and ask
Yeah,
it to
they
be
could
read, even,
email
you don't
or
have to
letters,
be.
Yeah.
And if they were to say, you know, we got several people that said we liked it better at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree with the point. I mean, I think the feeling, you know, people are a little less engaged to want to come in and sit and wait.
Yeah,
Well,
But
We're
then again, I
also
think,
doing work here, so
Yeah.
that's an opportunity
but
to
that,
engage.
that's the other part I
and-
like, is you're actually getting informed with what we're doing. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
there's part of it, what we always ask, come to council, and, you know, we have a specific group and friends that come, you know, there's 20 people that come to council on a regular basis, and some just come to listen, some come with their committees, some want to know what that committee's doing, but then nobody else shows up, so maybe that'll help broaden that base to say, hey, come in and watch the council meeting, and you're welcome to speak right after, you
Yeah.
know.
Because we might bring up a point that they want to bring up
Mhm.
all of a sudden that they didn't think about sitting here through the whole meeting and go, oh, I want to talk about the announcement that you guys brought up earlier. So it does give them a chance to digest it.
Yeah,
And,
I get that point, but, yeah.
but yeah, making people sit in the meetings, I fully encourage it because I want people to be here to listen and be informed. Because we have that too many times where people just listen to a little bit, they leave, they get on Facebook, complain, and then they didn't sit for the rest of the meeting and actually hear what we had to say. So, I'm fine, yeah.
So we'll leave it alone for now.
Okay.
We can revisit it at any time. Other council comments?
I do, I have a couple. The parking for the shuttle outside the Purple Antique. I'd like to get the contact, or I'd like the city to send a letter from all the city council members and the mayor saying that we would not like this parking spot in front of the Purple Antique, but we would request it to be in front of the city hall.
I'm good with that.
I think
I
and especially now that
and
they're,
some pictures maybe too. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously, the drivers know what the situation is.
yeah, the whole situation, and then
But
the
maybe the
removing
people
of
that
the
make the
snow of that
decisions.
parking spot and leaving a berm right there, what they're doing is they're just taking total advantage of the city for whatever they want, and I think that's just totally wrong. And I would like to make that action quick, from the city, so we're responsive to Cindy Schmidt, the owner of the Purple Antics, because I know she's been talking about it since that sign's been put up.
How was it decided to put there? I'm just.
They just
I
decided.
just picked it.
They just-
We wanted it in front of the library.
Mhm.
And we
Oh,
said
okay,
that
so
was
they
an
just-
ADA and how that's ADA, I have no idea.
And they won't do it on Pennsylvania on the other side, like in
Yeah,
front of the, because
yeah.
they won't turn.
We also
Yeah.
suggested
Because that was a good
Pennsylvania.
spot too, we thought, and they won't,
They didn't like
they
that.
won't do that.
My Penn Place would have been,
I'm not even sure.
Yeah,
who's
but
driving.
that place, yeah.
that's what I thought it was.
That's
all
that's
about.
where that's the
Partially
most logical
because-
spot to me. But
Partially, yeah.
County.
There's a no parking sign, so there'd be no traffic to park there. They
Yep.
could pull right there by
Piece
the
of cake.
memorial.
Yeah,
And you're sitting there, picked up and moved and plowed.
that's where I'd like to get on.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
to
I
me-
think the original thing was that when they were trying to time it out, they felt that if they got off now, it was bad. I don't understand.
Obviously, we were all
that.
thinking public safety. I mean, we just thought
Right.
that made the most sense to me. As we drive through and snow and
Add
happen.
to the
Because
time.
our city's so big.
Yeah.
It's
Still
a
said the
traffic.
library's a perfect spot.
Yeah, it's perfect for kids and
Yeah.
for anybody that,
Right.
Hybrid is better than that.
But yeah, we can, I think we
So,
can
yeah,
let her
I like
draft
that
it
idea. Good.
this week.
Yeah.
awesome. And then another thing was the roundabout, that we've talked about, and I really think we need to push this for 2020 is expanding our urban growth area to the roundabout and not just on 903, but expanding that and hopefully capturing the gas market at Sportland and that gas tax that can help our road. I still don't understand why we just have the road to the roundabout, and with Cleon moving up and moving up, I'd be scared for the city if we lost the water connection for the school, one of our biggest water takers, due to us just sitting back and not expanding our growth area. I'm not saying expanding all the way to the school, I just think that the city has not moved or looked at that in a while, and I think we need to either make sure that the school stays on our water connection or sorry, not the school, but going back to the Sportland and getting that gas tax. I'll just
Yeah.
end with that part. I know it's more work to our awesome staff, but for the city's point of view, I think that gas tax would go huge for our roads. 'Cause we
So
have
does Cleon get it now or the county?
The
county.
The county, right.
Is that part of the
Unincorporated.
EPA personnel?
No, but they're
It's not because, for the same reason, we're gonna have a hard time getting it.
well.
The county doesn't want
But they're Cleon is moving up in that area.
Right.
They've put in the word for that
it. Oh, yeah,
to get the roundabout, the storage units there.
we're behind
Uh,
the ponds.
Yeah, I think the city wisely should not just have the road of 903, because currently we have the road for some reason, but we don't have Roslyn Riders, we don't have the business,
Right.
the log business there. I just don't. So
And we haven't actually annexed that, right? It's just
No.
where we can.
we just
We're
annexed the
talking
road.
UGA, urban
Right.
growth area,
Right.
Yeah.
where we would like to in the future, if
Right.
things were right.
Yeah.
And keep maybe Cleon from coming back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Bill's heard, but I've heard a rumor that the city of Cleon is thinking about taking the school on as their water, with their water supply.
And that would be
And
horrible
that's
for
what I
the
heard
city of
from
Roslyn.
Earl. I heard that a few months ago.
Huh.
Yeah, I think, and I've honest, yeah,
I'll talk to you about it.
Okay. Well, that could come up at the sewer meeting here.
Uh-huh. It's something I've already brought up to staff. I made a comment through
There's
somebody.
a lot of infrastructure there.
It it was from some new council members, so,
Okay.
I don't want to spread a rumor, but I just, I think we should.
it's something to worry, I think as a city,
I think we
we
should
should
be
worry
on our
about.
toes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
I'd just like to point out that by us providing water to people outside of the city of Roslyn, it violates our own ordinance.
Mhm.
And our planner brought that up before, so.
That's what Michelle informed me when I sort of brought up the rumor.
And that's why we wouldn't be able to add anybody like the county's facility. If they did request, we had to turn it down. And Cleon didn't jump on it. Not give it. That was a previous council that created that ordinance. I don't know how long ago, but it was a while ago though.
Yeah.
Because we've had those waters for a long time.
Yeah,
A long time.
it's probably, we gotta grant to do infrastructure,
Yeah.
like, this is
Everybody
only for you,
line
we're
up.
giving you money for
Yeah.
you,
Right.
not somebody else.
Right, that makes
Mhm.
sense. And that was the eighties?
But we can change ordinances too.
Mhm. That's what we did.
And to make sure to protect the city.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to go down some road that is gonna affect the city with infrastructure or whatnot. I'm just wanting to, it was provided, it was brought in again by County Commissioner Shadish, and it's, I think it's a pretty good idea that she
Yeah.
brought up, so.
do we provide water? I know we do Sportland because we test water
Yeah.
there. Do we provide water to the residents on either side of the road
We
between
do.
Sportland and down then?
No, then yeah, it's almost a
Yeah.
no-brainer.
So there's probably 6 houses there, is that probably about
Something
right?
like that, yeah.
All the
I
way to
didn't-
the school.
I didn't think
All
we
the way
even
to the
served
school.
them.
Yeah, on the way to school
Right.
from.
All
Yeah,
those
and the
houses,
fire hydrants
yeah.
there.
Oh,
It's all us.
Okay. What about the back road? It's like Shaft
Shaft
Street?
Street.
Yeah, so what happens there, like where Tim Plaza lives, is that City Clown, is that well, is that Roslyn?
That's
No.
Roslyn.
It's all Roslyn.
It's not us?
no, that may, they
I'm
might
just
be
sort
on
of
wells
curious,
back
because our
there.
water goes that back side, so.
We just pay for the, I think those are all wells in the back
Okay.
on Shaft Street,
Mhm.
but we do pay for the electricity on those, on Alliance Road and on Shaft Street. We pay for the power poles.
Oh, yeah.
We go to
Okay.
245 road.
Yes.
Okay.
The hydrant's down there, all Roslyn water.
That's
all
what I
that.
thought too, yeah. And
Up
sewer
until your
as well.
guys'
Up
Alliance
into
Road
Alliance.
there, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
then you're clear and water
We
there.
don't supply the homes though, but we do have hydrants.
the hydrants, yeah, okay.
Okay, okay, so those back residents are probably well or some other way, but the hydrants themselves and then everything else on 903, those residents we actually do
Those
support.
are.
We do the
do provide
storage
water service,
sheds, the storage sheds,
Mhm.
and back this
And
way.
then the houses that are just on 903.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then one that kind of, and it's new, and I'm not, sorry for even bringing it up, but the snow plowing, for just maybe next year, I know we got our invoice or our, the bill of costs was just one flat amount. It'd be nice next year to have it broken out to a shoveler, a person with a shovel is this much, a bobcat is this much, a snowplow is this much, instead of just
Talking about the contract.
the contract for snow removal of
Yeah.
the sidewalks.
We're not next year.
Yeah, next
Yeah.
year.
Oh, yeah,
Just
they-
for this year.
No, but I believe next year what we need to do is the business themselves, I mean, and Chris, I talked to Chris Martin about it a little bit, that there's a group, an organization that he was talking about, of the business district, that, I mean, all of it, once we started the first plow, I had numerous people sending me messages on Facebook about how they can provide the services businesses and how they can organize to contribute to this fund to continue that service. Because whether we don't, let's say we don't do it next year, and that's what we're saying, we're not gonna provide the service next year, what are we gonna do with this type of snow in 3 days? No store owners coming in at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning and shoveling sidewalks. What are we gonna do? Are they gonna show up at, maybe it doesn't open till 8, and they show up at 7 and they shovel their side? I see a conundrum of problems right now.
Well, as Chris said, I think that the business owners
Yeah.
and
They have to-
landowners create a co-op
Yep.
that they all kick into, and then they can pick their own vendors.
Yep.
And their plumbing.
And no prevailing wage, they don't have to pay, so we
Yeah,
get more plows than what we're
A
doing.
lot of what they want.
But I
And they
think
can
we-
also decide different of them. I know that a couple of them have blowers and bobcats.
Right.
and
Well,
things.
I think what we should do though is, I mean, I think us as council should, maybe one of us or some of us help them make sure that they're doing that and providing a group, because they're gonna get caught if we don't make sure that they're
Yeah.
putting a plan ahead.
I think we should try to schedule a meeting with the RDA
Mhm.
and have,
Seems like the logical organization.
It's not just
Yeah.
RDA though, because
or
not
not,
all,
yeah, not maybe just the RDA, but
the
yeah.
down, a lot
They're
of
the
the
ones that
down,
already do it, so
Yeah.
that would be a good.
But
part of
RDA,
it,
our
too.
town, there's another one,
yeah, any of the businesses that are
yeah,
independent
get 'em.
down there are welcome and wanna be part of it, we wanna make sure they get brought into it. And, for discussion, because they're all gonna wanna, I think they all should have to contribute to it if they wanna do that.
yeah.
And I know numerous right off the bat, the first plow said, this is
Yeah.
fantastic, this is great this year. And, but we need to coordinate it with us, with the city, because we're the
Right.
ones that are gonna be taking the snow away with public works. So, it is something that still has to be coordinated with us, and we're still gonna be part of the snow removal, just not on the sidewalks. Right, we'll still be using the loader or whatever it is to remove the bulk. And so it will be coordinated still with us to a
It would
point.
have to be if they're gonna put it in.
So
the
I
schedule.
think it's something that we should keep on and start early spring to get the ball rolling with them.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they can pick a person that wants to lead their group, and we just sort of give them a little guidance and as we move through to make sure they're prepared and how we coordinate with our end.
Yeah.
That make sense?
Yeah, we can include everybody at that point.
Mhm.
Because obviously the Eagles and Marcos and.
Yeah, I
and
think
our
all the
businesses
businesses
are all-
downtown should be.
yeah, Inland, I mean, you guys do yours all, and the RDA does theirs, but there's a lot of businesses that probably do so.
Yeah.
As a co.
Yeah, because it'd be nice from the Eagles to Marcos, from the
For sure.
theater, all that
Yeah.
block up
Yeah.
to the Penn Place Apartments. Just, it'd be nice to have everybody pitch in to a fund, and that covers our snow but it'd be nice.
But they also
Yeah,
involve,
yeah.
they involve that, and I think Eagles and Marcos both find volunteers sometimes.
We
People are
pay
paying.
people, but like I say, just go for it.
Eagles pays people, I know.
Yeah, I know Eagles
We pay
does for
people,
sure,
yeah.
and they do a pretty good job of
Everybody will
getting.
pay people.
Oh, yeah.
Co-op.
So between the two.
The businesses are already
Go ahead
incurring
and talk to those
costs,
folks.
even if
I
their
do all the
employees
time.
are doing this.
And they can continue that, if they wanna do that, I mean, I would encourage they continue.
What else
if
can
they
you
don't
do,
wanna be part of it, just continue
What
your
we
same
do now.
habits, as long as you
Well, yeah.
can connect the
I found
walks,
these
is
guys
sort of how I
for-
understand
Right,
it. To me, that would be, the importance was continuing the walks, so there isn't
Just
those
the
piles of
Eagles.
snow in the middle.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a full-time job.
Businesses that currently are the storefronts that currently don't do snow removal.
They're violating ordinance.
Is there a way that we can start pressuring that?
Fine 'em.
I'm not
It's the
saying the ones on the
responsibility
side
of
because
every
that's not
property
fair.
owner.
Like the brick, the side of the brick, I don't believe that's fair. But in front of the brick, I believe that's fair.
Mhm.
But next to the hideaway, you have 2 empty spots that never get shoveled.
Mhm.
I'm just wondering, like, when do we start? And
I'm
that's
sure
and
we
that's
could
I
send
think
them a
going to
letter.
that co-op is actually setting something up that it's like, hey, if you're not in this, then you have to get your snow removed off the sidewalk,
Mhm.
or we will, as a city, do something about it.
Charge
Could you
it,
what?
do it and charge
Could
it.
Could you
charge
print
it.
out the ordinance?
You put a
at some
penalty
point,
on it.
read it? Could you print it out, the ordinance, and bring it to the next council session?
Yeah.
So we can look at, I'd like to see the ordinance and.
Well, right now we have people walking in the middle of the road. We have to figure out how to get people off the road.
Yep.
We have.
Just be, it's always been like that. I mean, you know.
Why do we sit there and just, it's always
Well,
been
no, I
like that?
agree.
That's how
We have
Roslyn
been in
is.
charge,
Like,
so that's-
I don't like, that's
No,
not an
I
attitude that I'm gonna sit back on.
No,
That's-
I understand that.
I know, but let's not say that. That's how it's been. Well, the co-op's not going to work. Let's do stuff that maybe it's going to work. Maybe we'll spawn into something else. But sitting back and saying, well, it's their responsibility. Well, it's not working. We have a lot of spaces that aren't getting shoveled out. We have a lot of older people that have to get from Penn Place to the post office or up to Marcos, and we don't have a safe way of getting there.
I would assume there's no fines listed in the ordinance. It's probably a letter situation.
There is.
Is there?
There is.
Okay, so.
So there's
$50
actually-
for
Starts at 100 and it goes to
Pardon?
500 now.
Yeah, Ellsberg's a hundred.
Okay.
Property.
Mhm.
Such guy.
Ellsberg and Yakima both have fees. I don't know how they enforce them, I can't, other than that, I have no idea, but I know on my job site, the officer that does the parking, Mr. Adams, is time to shovel the sidewalk, and we go shovel the sidewalk, and you're responsible to maintain your sidewalk in a business. And remind you,
All property owners are.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if
Fire
it's
chief.
commercial or
I
residential.
read the snow removal ordinance, and it contradicts itself, because you're not allowed to actually throw your snow into a bank and everything else. So you have to change the ordinance, I think, in order to enforce some of that other stuff, because, I mean, you're violating your own ordinance with another ordinance.
Well, Michelle.
Yeah, I read through
yeah,
that.
it's just, I think it's more of a discussion once we all read it and get our head around it, and see if we need to change that ordinance with some input.
Toughen it up,
Mhm.
especially with, next year's.
But I think the
Currently,
verbiage
Michelle,
also,
like you
because
said,
some of
it's
those
the same
businesses would
spot
have to
here.
pack it
Yeah.
out every time, and that's very costly, and some aren't capable of being able to do it.
lively and stuff.
First meeting of the year.
2020, yeah. that's right.
I have one suggestion, if possible, since no one brought up plowing. Seems to be a lot of new people in town, they don't know what the plow schedule is, or where they plow, and when they plow. And Mike did a nice job on Facebook of posting what went where and when, so there must be a plan written somewhere.
No, we have a regular.
Is there a possibility we could get the plan printed and put into a water bill soon? I don't know, I mean, I realize what's happened in the last 3 years. I've been on the west side and going back and forth, and it's a lot of snow, and I get it. And I've been through it once before here, but a lot of people are new, and they don't know who plows where, and what grader's going here, and what's going there, and when does an alley get done. I think it might alleviate some confusion, and it's a way to get it to them, so we know they got it. Because they get a water bill. We all get water bills.
So it's shown on the plan and the estimates of times.
Yeah.
I have a regular meeting next Tuesday about plowing, and I've already taken all those suggestions off Facebook,
Right.
and that's one of them without the map. We won't be using the map that we use. We'll use a template of that map, and we will show I think that, and it's in discussion, you have to talk Public Works, but we will show the emergency route. We'll show what gets done first, how we figure out a color coding system. But there's been lots of comments, I mean, one thing I'm gonna say is schedule's incredibly hard. You know, that in the sense of exact time, it's within an hour. So this year, my house, I'd say 6 o'clock-ish, but like, they had a late start the other morning, we had a late start today. That's where people need to be a little bit forgiving, that they're not all, you know, I'm at work, I'm not gonna be able to move my car. At times are gonna be tough,
Yeah, I
to
think the
dial in.
order could be
but
helpful.
the map itself of how we
Yeah.
plow and where we start our priority plowing, I think would be, and then how we get around from there, I'll work with Mike and the guys on how they typically do it, and then we'll figure out some way of showing a progress of how that goes. But there's also has to be, I mean, I think we've learned, people have to be aware when they have that first plow that, hey, this is gonna be around this time, and be prepared to move your cars. And, you know, when I first moved full-time, you know, a neighbor knocked on my door,
Oh,
and
yeah.
if it was not, it was Stan revving up the machine, move your truck. And you learn really quick. And now we all park on one side. Our block's figuring it out. We've got one that sort of is a struggle, but in general, we're getting a neighbor. And a lot of it is really taking your block and you 5 or 6 people all calling each other and saying, listen, let's park on my side. Who can't move their cars and why can't you? And what do we need to do with your car? So we can keep those plowed. A lot of it's going to be
Neighbors talking to
conversation within your
neighbors,
neighborhood.
I think.
I don't think
But I
it's
will
really-
get a map.
I don't
That's
think
a
it's really a timing thing. I think it's more of a,
Awareness.
priority route.
what's the priority,
Yep.
what's the second priority? People are going, hey, why isn't the alley done?
Nope, you're right.
I don't think you can come down to a time frame.
So I've got a
It's
good
very
map.
difficult with very few guys
Yep.
doing it, and they're doing a great job.
They're doing a great job right now.
And been through Friday to today, they're doing a great job, to be honest with you.
Well, and the 5 AM roll
Yep.
is pretty set.
Yep.
When they end up starting at 7 or 8 because we didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when we
That's
get the
when it-
curveball, but,
Then we're missing things, we're skipping alleys.
and Sunday worked out absolutely wonderful, actually, way
Wish
better
we
than we
would've done
anticipated, because it was such a late one that, I sent out a few calls, a few other people did, and actually the comments were that more streets were, cars were moved Sunday because people were home, they weren't at work, and I think it was a half a dozen streets all had cars that had went to one side, moved to the other, and they got complete plows out of the whole thing. That hasn't happened all year, it doesn't happen very often. But I hope that was a big learning curve, I think, for a lot of people, so I think the next plow will also show that helped. But that is, I think that was the #1 idea, was the map. And
Well,
just
there was
figure out
another
how-
one about
That's a
texting
cost
and
issue,
stuff,
but we've looked into that, there's some funding
If it's
behind
on,
that.
you know, if it's cheap,
Mhm.
and it's a weird day, if like on a Sunday, we're gonna go out, if there was a texting system, I could see that as being a
But I
positive.
think if they just knew the routes and the priorities,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then it might alleviate some calls and give them a little more knowledge. Because not everybody knows them. It doesn't really affect me because I'm parked on the street, but
Yeah.
a lot of people in the residence do. And
Mhm.
they gotta move cars. And you're not gonna get a time, I get that. You can't. It doesn't work that way.
So Tuesday, that's one of the priorities on the list. Yep, that, we'll have a meeting on Tuesday around 4 on the 21st, with how it works, so that'll be one of our hot topics.
I would dovetail that to say that we don't have one kind of solid form of communication beside the water bill, it seems like. It's just an ongoing thing. I don't know that we have the capacity for like a newsletter mailer.
Mass email or something.
We have the e-alert system.
There's an alert. And then this text.
I guess it's just
Yeah.
communication in general, and like you said, for people that are new to town, like how do you find out? How do you know?
Yeah.
Until, someone knocks at your door.
Mhm.
The e-alert system that sends out to everybody? Or every customer bill?
Anybody that's signed up for it.
Oh,
Does that work only on cellular type phone center, or does it work on
No, it's email.
email?
It's-
So we just have to.
That's how I send out the
So-
agendas.
Okay, okay. So
We're
we
to
could do a
estimate how
sign-up
many
sheet
people are
with
on.
residents that
Try
want
to
to
get
do
more
that.
people signed
right?
up for that.
Have them do a sign-up sheet,
300.
have them come here and put their
Oh,
emails
really?
on a sign-up sheet that want to be involved. And if you don't have it, that could be your excuse why you don't get told or when they're coming to plow.
yeah.
But that would be a great way to start, was have a sign-up sheet here and leave it up for a month, or, this year it'd be a few weeks and log it in.
Even if we had a little sign that just hung up from the bar that said, want to stay informed, here's our Facebook, and here's our e-alert, sign up today or something.
Help with snowplow, here's our snow plowing alerts through the messaging and.
Yeah, keep
Well,
up
I
to
would
date.
be cautious to sort of say that we're going to always alert about snow plowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you have to.
But just
yeah.
stay up to alert,
Mhm.
just leave it vague, so you
Right.
don't have to do every single one, but
Right,
hopefully you get to
As we can.
80%, 90% of the alerts.
Right.
And council would need to budget for some kind of home accessibility for like a handheld so that staff doesn't have to come in to send an e-alert out. And I don't think we have that ability right now.
What about paying off on their cell phone? We pay,
Well, that's what I'm saying, is we would probably have to get some kind of
Right.
app that would access the
Oh, yeah.
system. That then she could just hit a button and say, send this message, maybe a can
Because
message.
it just
of some
happens
sort.
on the computer, right?
Yeah, she does it from the computer,
Yeah.
the network itself. But I'm just saying council.
Well, it's just, yeah, I mean,
Might have to
that's,
make
so that's a
some kind of
resource that we already have then,
spending.
that we could take advantage of, that
Yeah.
would cost extra.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't wanna bombard people, but if there's
No.
But that one wouldn't cause the
valuable information.
the e-alert system, that's already in
So
place.
sign up for e-alerts.
We can start advertising, I mean, let's have our meeting on Tuesday, but I think that's a great way to start promoting it and put it on Facebook, put it on the page that you put it on, send it in the
On our
email,
webpage.
the e-alert itself.
So how does someone actually sign up? Do they just send
Give me their email
you an
address.
email and just say, I'd like to get e-alert? Okay, I can
It's
put
great
that on.
idea.
cause then you get the agenda, mainly you get
They'll
the
get the agenda.
the agenda.
I will put that on
And if there's prescribed burn or whatever, they get that.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yep.
Did we have any more, were we done with commission, selections? Did we have any conversations left on that? Were we done?
That's it.
Everybody's, okay, for some reason I thought we had something left
If
out.
there's a gap, then we can bring it up, but no, I think. we got-
Everybody's got, okay, for some reason I thought we had something left, so.
I'll make a motion to adjourn tonight's first meeting of 2020.
it. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Adjourned.
Nolan and Jared,
Yeah.
we're just planning 4 o'clock on the 21st right now, but I'll send you an email also, I'll have Mike send me an email.
Okay.
Because I'd like to have you there.
Four on the 21st.
I don't know,